YouTube, Melvin Quant Geekery. Yesterday morning, I wrote the CFA Level 2 exam. My score on the mock exams, 69%. Unlike my previous effort, I did not use the Bloomberg test prep at all. This may prove to be a problem because I do think I could have done somewhat better if I had taken at least those mock exams to get more familiar for the test going in. My score on practice, 75% correct. My rank overall, 70th percentile, very similar to when I took the CFA Level 1. Do I think I had a good chance of passing? I do think it's borderline. There's a significant overlap of material from the Level 1 to the Level 2. So some things just almost muscle memory. At the same time, I also very much felt like they were things I did not feel 100% firm on. If my percentile were, say, 95, 99, 90%, then I would likely feel much more confident that I would pass. I think this might be close to what a likely possible passing candidate looks like. They do say you want to have between 70 and 80% correct on the practice questions. You want 70% to feel reasonably confident. You want around 70% for the Level 2, and you want to be considered. You want to be in the top upper 70, top 25%, top 30, 25% in the percentile rank, because many people use the learning ecosystem. We don't know what percentage of people just use Kaplan, but I do think a large number of people use the learning ecosystem that write the exam, and so there is a chance that this could be representative, and there's a good chance that I pass. At the same time, this is more close to what you would expect for someone who is on the button. I think that's really what's going on. Is this is more on the button. So with that said, I do want to talk about some other things, but that will be for a later time. How many hours I spent, I didn't log by hours, which is another mistake. And I had a long period after the initial readings where I lagged off on my studying intensity. However, given that I had done some prior review that was out of the learning ecosystem, and I had read and reviewed the Kaplan flashcards and the Kaplan secret sauce and the Kaplan cheat sheets. So I reviewed those quite a bit. And conceptually, I think an important thing that I had neglected was physically writing down notes and processes and conceptual linkages when it came to pricing, derivatives, drawing timelines, fixed income, drawing timelines. When you're understanding how you get justified ratios, it's really good going from the macroeconomic aspect all the way to your justified PE ratios. When, oh yes, the EPS that we got from financial statement analysis, that information, when you're forecasting it in Level 2, you understand that those forecasts are coming from the economics section. The economics section uses the techniques. Well, they don't really use those. They use some of the techniques, but in practice, you're Growth estimates use more recursive methods. So they use more heavy math than even what we get in the CFA. The FRM program goes more into the math, but even they don't go as deep as a financial engineering sequence at Temple. And I will say, when it comes to a lot of full quant positions, when it is the person running the big shops, they do come from like the elite programs, because the way most risk programs that involve heavy boutique derivatives are designed is very much a one side wins, one side loses. So if your goal is just to hedge, you might pay too much, you might pay too little. If you pay too little, that just means the other person underpriced the derivative. If you pay too much, that's sort of the goal. Anyway, just one thing to keep in mind: if you're getting a free profit, a risk-free profit, it's because there's something wrong. This what's called today arbitrage. That is a fundamental but not easily understood process, because we assume that things are fair and that someone does not just screw up and allow for what is conceptually an infinite money glitch. However, there are mispricings. The very concept of capitalism is that these mistakes get corrected when someone exploits them. That if someone is being naive with how they're pricing things, or they're not thinking things through, someone is going to take advantage of that and get that free money. And then at some point they have to address it. Now, does that actually happen quickly? No. Part of the reason it doesn't is that if there is a reason for that inefficiency that can be an exploitable inefficiency, often is the result of it's preserving an economic relationship that is itself rent-seeking. So if you have someone who's using an inefficient system to protect their rent-seeking, well, then you are really profiting from an inefficiency that is being maintained for an entrenched interest. But that's not really something you would think about in terms of finance today. It's more of those are more things that might pop up in emerging markets, where you have a lot of practices that don't make much sense, but then you understand that what we call, quote, corrupt is actually not what that word would have meant. You have elected officials breaking a public trust, but that is because they're prioritizing their local community ties more than all of the people that are trusting them with resources and funds to be allocated effectively. With that said, have a blessed one. Bye.